are here with North County Gymnastics and the Gyminny kids. We are joined with the magnificent Helen. She's extremely talented and I wanted to bring her on today to talk to you guys about performing. But once again, this gymnastics is more than. And welcome, Miss Helen. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm great.
Well, we have lots of time. Before we went live, Helen and I were just talking about things that were keeping us busy. We'll get to some of the really cool stuff she's planning to add on to her act, and I don't know if that's what you call it, if it's more like a performance. But anyways, tell us about your background. Tell us about your upbringing in gymnastics. There's so much to go over.
Oh my God, my background.
Yeah.
So I'm from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. That's the city, the capital city. And
what's the capital city?
Addis Ababa.
Oh wow.
Yes, it means it's a new flower.
Wow.
Yeah, the name. I started gymnastics after school activity, but actually my family didn't want me to do it because back then when I started it, in Ethiopia, women are supposed to be women, stay home, you know, we all wear skirt, they like long dress, So gymnastics was out and kicking legs on the air, and it was...
so your parents weren't exactly excited. Did you go to them and say, I wanted to do gymnastics?
No,
did you see
actually,
it on TV or something?
I was just like flipping on the grass and this guy saw me and he was like, you got talent, you should come train with us. Oh. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah. He talked to my mom. He come home. He's like, can I talk to your family? He told my mom, and my mom was like, oh no, you know, she's a girl. She shouldn't be doing that. I was like, it was very weird. But I wanted so much because I was like a tomgirl when I was growing up. I had short hair. I like play soccer. I stayed out all the time. So finally, my mom was like, okay, go ahead if you want it.
Because you were active, right? It sounds like you had a lot of energy since you were little. So your mom probably knew that you had to find some direction for that energy.
Also, like, we don't have tablets back home, you know? It's like, it's not like we have tablet and TV, we watch YouTube. Yeah. It's not happening.
So where you live, there was not electronics like there is now?
No, it's Africa. Yeah. We are very poor. We barely afford our food. So I started it, but I fell in love with gymnastics. Yeah, I was so obsessed with it. Like, literally, I sleep and I dream about me flipping all the time. And I'm a kind of person, it's like, I have to get the best out of everything. Like, I have to hit the limit. That's always been, you give me something and I have to do it. You
do it 100%.
Yes, I have to push, and I still don't get satisfaction. I want more and more. So whenever training is finished, I will just go out on the grass, and I did my handspring on the grass.
You just taught yourself?
Yes. And then I do it at home. My home was like concrete. I just like, I show my mom, I was like, whoop. I just like, it was like nothing. I remember it. Like, I was so happy. And then I started doing it 2, 3.
When you were recruited, was it like a recreational center? Was it a gymnastics facility?
No,
what was it?
In my neighborhood, we had, it's like, Crocs, the shoes. Oh yeah. You know how bouncy it is? Yeah. There was a Crocs shoes company.
Really?
Yes, but they make those rain boots. So the leftover, because it's like the machine spits out the leftover, and the leftover kind of start building. And since it's a Crocs, it's very bouncy. Yeah. So it's like, it was like almost 8 feet of that full, and we can flip on it, and it's like the best thing ever.
Wait, so you guys went to this company that had the extra shavings and you kind of like made a floor out of it and you just learned how to flip?
Like, it's the company's inside a giant building,
like
an
industrial
they just throw
warehouse.
It outside, they don't even care, and it kind of starts building.
And so you just were outside this industrial building with this material that started building.
And then it's like, whenever around 4 they stop, it builds up, and when the rain touches it, it keeps getting stuck. So it's like, it was very bouncy. We started there, just like after school, everybody flips.
Everybody went there and just
literally flips.
Wow.
I did that for a while. I did.
Do you have any pictures or videos of that? That would be awesome to see.
I know, I'm still trying.
Really?
It's like, nobody really owns a video. Yeah. But I'm still like collecting photos because this is good. I never really
it's a great
cared
story.
Before. Yeah, this is good. So that's how we started. And even our name was like Crocs Circus, something like that, I swear.
Were your teachers or coaches, were they certified coaches, or they just kind of learned themselves?
Just this guy, he just collect people and kids, and he just trained them.
That's pretty
and
cool.
we loved him. The training was good.
Yeah.
He used to like, when we learned split, you have to go over. I
Over
think that's
splits,
why
yeah.
I can still do splits, because I was over split. So when we do the middle, he puts a rock in rock. You do the splits, and then he hangs a giant rock.
So your legs on a rock, your back legs on a rock, and then you're holding a big rock? That's some serious
just
training.
Like pulls you down, and you
Oh
touch
my
the
gosh.
floor with no time.
So what
And
about
we
when you
used
hear
to
the kids
cry.
complaining here when they think it's too hard to do splits on a
That's
nice
not-
packed foam?
And if you heard me teach my kids, I love them so much, and
Yeah.
they start understanding me, and I'm like, just hold the pain, it will go away in a few seconds. That's me. I don't even like react to it.
Yeah.
So and then that gymnastic group become a circus, and I did rhythmic gymnastics with 3 girls, contortion type of thing.
So with rhythmics, you guys do the hoop, and there's a ball, and there's clubs?
No, we do the 3 people do pyramid handstand
so like
on a top.
that's like acrobatic gymnastics?
Yes.
Oh wow.
So I did that.
That's cool.
And we have Gymnastic Federation in Ethiopia, but it wasn't developed that big.
Yeah.
But they do have competition.
Is it bigger now than it was when you were a
yes,
kid?
it is. So they do, let's say Addis Ababa, the federation, when it has competition, everybody's allowed to compete. I guess the Croc Circus, we start competing, and I started winning a lot.
So they had judges, they had
Yes.
different age groups, divisions. How'd that work?
We don't. We just have like for women, we'll only floor. We didn't have vault, beam. We never get introduced, but we are good at flipping.
Yeah.
So we create our own routine, no music, nothing, and so we have judges. We have the from 10 to 12. From 12 to 16, we have only 2, and then under that we have girls group and boys group, and everybody brings 3 people, and you have the 4 person in case of injury, whatever. So yeah, we just compete. It was this big mall. Oh my god, and the mat was like dry. You have no idea. Now when I see, sometimes it kind of melts my heart when I see all those props and Gyminny kits.
Yeah.
And what would it have been if I had all that?
When you were a kid.
Yes, and even though like I'm happy whatever I got into with what we had.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know there's more, so
Yeah.
we appreciate what we had.
To you, it just was what was normal.
Yes, what was normal. Yeah, and I start winning, and the funny part about me is like I will win this competition. While we walk back, we used to sing. We have, the cup and the medallion, I wear it, and everybody's like cheering. They carry us on the shoulder,
Wow.
all the circus team, and we'll sing and walk back, and it's like a long walk. We'll sing and walk back, and I'll always stay in the back. I don't sing, I don't do anything. I think about the next competition.
So you're very competitive, huh?
Yes.
Very competitive.
Very. I'll think about the next competition all the time. I don't know why. Now I regret it. I should have celebrated. That was a little thing.
Yeah. But you sounds like you're just focused. So focused on wanting to get better and do more.
Like we'll practice when everybody go home for lunch. I will stay and practice by myself. What is like my weakness? Which part I need to? I'll just keep repeating the routine, and then I'll go home. That's how I obsessed. And I didn't even know they were a future.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, it seems like, first of all, that's not, I've never even heard anything like that before. Like, that's incredible that you're able to take that product, turn it into something that's like a bouncy spring floor, and then create like you were competing. Yeah. And then were these friends of yours? How did you find your teammates? Was that up to the coach? Oh,
they like I won't say division, let's say in San Diego. We are in San Diego. Chula Vista will have his own little circus. Yeah. And then
so each kind of little town maybe came together?
Yeah.
And did you ever travel for that?
Yes, we did. After we won the Addis Ababa, the capital city championship, they start having it through the country. So they will choose one city in Ethiopia. So we'll all gather together, and it start growing bigger and bigger. So I travel once or twice to another city to compete for my city.
Was that exciting for your family?
Yes. My mom was very exciting than me. Whenever I win, she'll have this little coffee ceremony, and she'll put my cup in the middle, and neighbors will gather together and break a bread, and they sit and talk.
Wow.
And she have done that all the time I won.
Do you have siblings?
Yes. We are 9.
9?
Yep.
Where are you in that?
Down. I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest of 9?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Not the last born, but the youngest.
Did you, did your siblings play sports?
Oh yeah, my young sister, she was really good at gymnastics, but she was a small, so I used to drag her to go training. Like it was my force. Yeah. She'd rather play in the street. And I was like, no, we're going to practice.
Yeah.
And
it probably kept you out of trouble too, to some degree, right?
Yes, it did. It did. My mind worked different. It was weird. Other girls in my age, how they think and how I think, it was completely different. They worry about little things like toys and all that, and my mind is all tumbling, like how I can, do twist and all that. So it's like I become different, a little growing.
I think to be really good at anything, you have to become obsessed with it. And it sounds like you were obsessed with it.
Oh, I was.
You were obsessed with it. Okay, where are your siblings now? Where's your family?
All of them back home. Yes.
Do you miss them? Do you think about visiting them?
Yes, I do. The young ones, the older ones, they got married, have kids. It's weird because maybe, I don't know if it's I don't see it in America, but back home, mothers are the one who holds the family together. And my mom passed away in 2008, and the whole family just
kind of disappeared.
Yes, it's went their own way, and nobody was gathered. But I still have my little ones that I take care of, and I miss them. But then the way you stay longer out, the more it's okay to talk to them on the phone and become
just a new normal.
You have no choice. The flight is $1,200 and 17-hour flight. I cannot just
17 hours. Oh,
yes, and it's not like when you go home.
You can't just go home.
Everybody expects more from you. Like they want a giant suitcase or something.
Yeah.
She's coming from America. So it becomes hard, and then you will say next year and next year and next year, and it's just takes you too long to go home.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, because so, going into how you were competing and traveling, what was the next step in your journey towards where you are now?
So the Gymnastics Federation got bigger, and we had I stopped gymnastics. It was sad. I was heartbroken. The thing is, when you're a girl, and then you start growing, and your body parts start becoming big. And you see other kids flipping, and you don't look like them anymore. And it's sad. It's not like nobody's supporting you. It's okay to have, bigger boobs and all that, and then you won't have a support bra that can hold. You start getting uncomfortable around boys, and all that. So I stopped, and I remember I cried a lot. My mom was very sad. It was like, I don't even know what it was going. Yeah. But I have done so much. I have won a lot of things, a lot of competition. So that happened. I stopped. But to keep myself going, I signed up for badminton class.
Badminton?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I signed up, and it was for a month, because one of the judges who knows me when I do gymnastics, the judges loved me. I give them 10 every time. So whenever after competition we go to lunch, they will take me only to lunch, and other gymnasts will get angry because they think I'm getting points, but they just love me and win all the time. So he was teaching badminton. I was like, why don't you come join? And I started going there and learning badminton. He bought me the net. Yeah. Yeah, he bought me all that, and I started. So one day I got a call from the federation, it was really weird. And I was like,
For badminton.
no,
For
gymnastics.
Yeah.
Gymnastic Federation. I got a call from Gymnastic Federation, and they were like, "We want to send you to China." I was like, "What?" Like, I stopped gymnastics out of nowhere, and I told him no. I didn't even know that would get me here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him no. I stopped gymnastics. Give it to other gymnasts. He was like, "No, Helen, you won for so long that like they couldn't take it because they wanted to take with points."
Yeah. So they wanted you to represent them,
yes,
probably.
But the thing, what happened was while we compete, they hired from Cuba 3 coaches, and the federation starts bringing gymnasts who are good at, and I got chosen, and my sister got chosen. It's like 10 kids, and they trained us. And for the first time, I competed for Ethiopia and All African game.
Wow!
I was the first female who competed. And it was good. We did good. We didn't know the rules, and I remember it was weird. It was weird because we never been to an All African game, and I didn't know gymnastics was that beautiful. Like, you know, Egypt, in Morocco, they got all the money and everything, and when they stand, they have this shiny, you know, leotard, what you have in your shop, literally, and they have like all sparkles on their hair. And you looked at us, we are like, we wear a t-shirt and shorts. It's like completely different.
Yeah. Were you introduced to the other events, the other 3 at that point? Or are you still competing on floor?
We did vault and floor and beam. Because we had beam in the federation, but no, they didn't know what to do with it. But when they hired the 3 Cubans, she taught us beam. That's how I know, like, all the beam and vault. I was good. Because, you know, I'm obsessed with things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to competition. The thing about me is like when you put me on something, I get that extra energy. I feed from like people seeing me. It's weird, but it does work. So when I remember my Cuban coach tried to put makeup on us, and we yelled at her because we are like, you know, kids, like I never seen makeup, and she tried to put lipstick. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And she cried. She was mad. She was really mad, and she cried. And there's language barrier.
Yeah.
We don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
She speaks, it's like completely we don't understand.
I still see, I mean, that happens here in the U.S. quite a bit, where we have coaches that are from different countries, very good coaches, but there's a disconnect with language.
Yes.
That's pretty common, actually.
And with us, it's like, it was weird, but she did an amazing job. Her name is Maria.
Do you ever talk to Maria? Do you miss her?
Hair. No, I didn't. I need to find her on Facebook.
Yeah.
I might find her. She got blonde hair, wear red lipstick every training. She wears a tracksuit. She has very pretty nails.
Pretty nails, that's important.
Yes.
That's so important.
She's always like, when she
Really?
does stuff, we always looked at her. Yeah, super white.
Yeah.
She was.
She had light skin, huh?
Yes.
So you had told me that, sorry, they invited you to China.
Yes.
But it wasn't what you expected, was it?
Yes.
Tell us that story, because that's a good one.
So, they collect 6 people from different country from Addis Ababa. They took me and one guy who used to always win, and they took from Tigray, that's East Ethiopia, and from the south, and 6 people they choose. And we went to China. I remember they picked us up from the airport, and this guy, he gave us boiled egg and a bread, and we were in the bus driving from Beijing, like almost 6 hours to Wukia. And in Africa, we heard about Chinese eat everything. And imagine, we thought we looked very tasty. And we were like so scared. We didn't sleep on a flight. We didn't sleep in the bus. We don't know what's going on.
Because you're going to a new place.
Yeah, and we don't speak English. They don't speak. And Chinese are very, very, I won't say, their culture is a little bit aggressive toward people who doesn't know what's going on. You know, when they talk, they have that sound, and they just talk even though they know that you don't understand. And they kind of a little bit scares you. And it's the culture, I guess. Like they come to you and they just talk, and you're like,
Did you eventually catch on to some of the language?
Oh yeah, I did. So we went to the school. We arrived the next day. They gave us a tracksuit and everything, and we went downstairs, and it was a circus school.
So you thought you were going to gymnastics school.
Yes.
And you got there, they gave you a suit, and it was a circus school.
So what happened was, it was misunderstanding when
So
the
that
Chinese...
that was a break in communication, huh?
Yes, when the Chinese offered the scholarship, it was for circus.
Oh, wow.
But there is no, like, a government circus thing. It was a federation, which that kind of, because they take gymnasts from the circus.
Yeah,
they
that
thought
makes
it
sense.
was the same thing.
But you had no idea.
No, we have no idea. And we were like, no, we are here to do gymnastics. Where's the vault? Where's the thing? And they were like, no, you're here to do circus. So they have one translator.
My goodness.
Yeah, and...
Were you upset in the moment? How'd you feel?
Confused.
You were just confused.
Yes, we were just confused. And
I don't blame you.
And then they were like, oh, you are here? So now you have to stay the scholarship for a year. You have to stay for a year. And we were like, okay, let's just finish this year.
Okay.
We can, practice by ourselves. It's not like we have Olympic to go to, you know? And we were like, okay, let's just stay. And, well, my teacher just walked in. And she was like, she looked at my leg and she was like, you got a good leg, foot juggling. She puts me on foot juggling.
She said you have good legs for foot juggling?
That's it. And my calves were like huge even because it's a lot of
tumbling and ball.
And she was like, okay, foot juggling. And actually they started giving us props. And it was weird.
Okay.
I cried straight for 3 weeks every night.
Oh man.
And the training is so hard. You wake up at 6. You run for like 20 minutes, and then we will do handstand holding like 3-4 minutes, and then we will eat breakfast, clean our room, the kitchen, and the corridor, and then you will take a nap if you want to. And then at like 9:30, training will start, and we train until like 5. You'll stop lunch break 2 hours, and then you go to 5, and it was very hard, and missing home and leaving my mom and everyone, and then nobody understands you.
That must have been difficult. Very difficult.
It was bad. It was bad.
And you know what I think is notable here is that they wanted you to practice handstands before you even cleaned your room, which means like handstands are very important.
Yes.
Whether you're in gymnastics or circus or anything, it's like a foundational skill.
Yeah, it's like they teach you without, I won't say pain, but without a struggle, nothing comes free. You want to learn handstand? Get to the wall, hold your handstand for 3 minutes, and if you come down, you'll do it again. And we will just like shake. And
it's painful.
And also they teach you discipline. I learned a lot of discipline. It's
Were the teachers, did you enjoy them? Were they very confident
coaches? They were good, but it's just like my teacher, she'll give me the table and she'll just sit on her phone and play Candy Crush, like literally, and the table will follow me 1,000 times. I'll pick it up. But do you know what I appreciate? If she was there to pick up the table all the time, I will think that I need someone to do something. They teach you that hard work pays off. That's it. You don't need anyone.
Right.
And there is no wrong way learning when it comes to things. Just figure out what's good for you, what's good for your body, what's good for your mentality. That's what they teach you. It's weird, but after that, like, I can still work on new things. I don't need anyone. I watch people's video and I put time to it.
So you could watch something and then learn it yourself?
Yes.
Was it like a, what did it look like? Was it a gymnasium? Was it a big room? Does everyone work out together? Are there different areas?
It's like you walk in, it's like a dance studio. That's what it looks like. But it's big and the ceiling is higher because they hang things. Like my table was hanged when I practiced first time, so it doesn't hit me. We have we have a heater that doesn't work, and the windows are like, it was cold. It was cold. Even like when we practiced, it was really cold.
And you need to watch Helen's videos. They are like nothing you've ever seen before. If I even try to explain what she does, it's not going to do it justice. But like you said, you had stuff fall on you. When you're here practicing the table act, so she's on her back on this stand, I guess is what you would call it, and she has it like a coffee table. And it's this big wood table, and she juggles it on her feet. And then she turns it sideways, and she'll flip it over with her feet. And then she'll do this one where she like runs with it, and it's spinning while it's running, and it's right over her face. And the whole time you're doing it, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if that falls down, you're going to be...
Yeah, many people, they say I make it look easy.
Yeah, you do make it look easy. But the first time I saw it, I was scared. I was like, maybe this is not a good idea. Maybe you put that down. But I mean, you don't even like, I mean, you have a complete confidence when you're doing it.
Because I have done it. When I was at school, my teacher has a rule. She calls it arshi. It's like, it means it's 20 in Chinese, and you will repeat 20 set, 20 times.
Wow.
Just one trick. Imagine after that.
So you just do a ton of repetitions.
Yes.
Over and over.
Yes.
I mean, hours and hours.
Yes.
But it sounds like a 9 to 5. Like this was your full-time job, 8 hours every day. You learned how to do.
And they teach you other things. I learned, because they kind of, like I said, like when we went there, because normally the school it's not Ethiopia, they took from Tanzania and Kenya, but most of the student, it was weird because most of the Tanzanians and the Kenyan student, they don't have a gymnastic background. They just
that makes it harder probably.
Yes, so they couldn't catch up to things.
Yeah.
But we were like set for gymnastic, and when they gave us circus, it was easy.
Yeah.
And we practiced so hard, and we all obsessed being good at things.
Yeah.
And we become the best foreigner artists they have.
Did you guys push each other? Did you have healthy competition within your own group?
No, everybody does different props. I do for juggling, and the other one does rollerball.
So everyone does what's best for them.
Yes, they gave everyone act, but then we do like Diablo, juggling together. Those are, they call them a killing time tricks. When somebody hire you for an hour, you cannot juggle table for an hour. So you will have juggling, a little bit of Diablo, a little bit of everything. So they teach you a little bit of everything, including handstand, how to flip, because you have to know those things if you are a performer. It's weird if you don't know how to do cartwheel and you are a performer. It's like you need to know these things. So they teach you all these little things, but they give you a main act, which is nobody can do. They make you great at your main act, but you are good at those
other things too. Where can people find your material online? I saw you had a Facebook page too.
I just, because now I have time, I created my Instagram page. It's Helen the Foot Juggler.
Okay.
Yeah,
just like it sounds, Helen the Foot Juggler?
Yes, Helen the Foot Juggler. You can find me there. My Facebook page is the same, Helen the Foot Juggler.
Yeah.
And I start posting things, like from my shows and everything. So, it's going great. I started very good. I have a lot of followers.
I'm sure you're going to get a lot more. Like I said before, I've never seen anything remotely like it before you came here and you shown, and I had no idea how talented you were until you would sometimes in between classes do something, and then everybody was kind of like, what the heck is going on? I didn't know Helen could do that. I mean, she's super talented. So, okay, so when you went to this school, did you eventually learn to love it? Because that's what you told me in the staff room one day, that you learned to love circus. You didn't go there for circus, but you found your passion there.
Yeah. It become my way out. It's like the ticket.
Yeah.
And I become good at it. And like I said in a previous, I stopped gymnastics because it wasn't going anywhere. But this was taking me to another. But the thing also it happened is we become the best foreigner artists they had. Yeah. They gave us another 1 year.
So then they're 2 years.
2 years.
And were you happy?
Second year we're like, forget about the family. Let's just stay here. Yeah. So we did 2 years. In 2 years we learned a lot. I mean a lot. I'm
just surprised you learned all that in 2 years. How can you learn that in 2 years?
Well, I practice 8 hours a day. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah. Do you take breaks on the weekends?
Yes. Sundays.
But the thing is, your coaches there are also your parents because they're raising you, right? I mean, who's there to look out for you? What happens if you break the rules? I mean, you're in a new place.
It's a camp.
So
you can't leave the door.
So you have a lot of respect for the people in charge. You don't dare to break the rules.
Yeah. And about learning from them from Chinese, they're amazing. They teach you how to become good at things by yourself independently. And discipline matters because okay, the school president, we call him master. The school president will wake up at 6. He will clean his office, clean his corridor. So it's like when I clean my own kitchen and my corridor, my room, I don't complain because I see him doing it and he's above me. It's
so
like,
he leads by example.
Yes, I love that about them. I love so many things, but also so many things were traumatizing.
I can imagine.
Okay, one time we were walking outside, this little boy, he runs and touched my hand, ran back to his mom. I didn't understand what he was doing. So the teacher, I asked him, like, he just touched me, and he asked his mom, and he thought that my color was gonna come off. Yeah, they have, because they never seen black people.
Oh.
They will touch my hair.
Yeah.
They will just like literally spin me around to see me, and I was fine with it. Also, like, Ethiopia is one of the country we never colonized by, racism wasn't there. We fight Italy for 3 years and we won. We died, a lot of us, but we won. So racism didn't exist in Ethiopia. So when I leave Ethiopia, for me, there's
Did you experience racism outside of Ethiopia?
Yes. I was in Germany for 3 years. I performed there. I traveled a lot before I came here. And that's when I still didn't understand why.
Yeah.
But then we were performing with South Africans, which is, they, you know.
And Rodney was on last week, and he told me just a little bit about what went on in South Africa, and that was tough.
Yeah, that's tough still now. So it's like, I didn't have that. And when the little boy touched me, I didn't react to that. But now when I think about it, oh my God, that was like really bad. And we were in a small city, and sometimes they just like hold your hand and they would just speak in Chinese long, and you were like,
you don't know what they're saying.
Can't you see, like, I'm not one of you? Like, how am I to understand? So those things was a little bit.
It probably had an effect on you.
Yeah.
But in general, do you feel like at the school they treat you with respect?
Yes.
And it sounds like you learned a lot of respect from being there.
Yeah, and they did. Except they never seen one of us, and that was a little bit hard. Not one of us, a lot of us there, because we were 6 students from Ethiopia, in Kenya, and Tanzania. So that was like for them. They used to like come and watch us practice.
They just never seen anything like it. Yeah, and were you ever just like, okay, you know, like, just felt like,
seriously, they will literally, like, my
my
teacher will call her friends, her friends will call another friends, they will come and watch us practice. We are like, okay, show's over.
You had talked about how your coaches helped you learn how to be self-motivated, you know, in other words, intrinsically motivated. You're motivated by, you know, your own desire to be better. How did they help you develop intrinsic motivation? I ask that question too because, you know, we see a range of students that come through this school. You know, this is mostly recreational. Sometimes we do have competitive teams, but oftentimes we struggle with students that are motivated by maybe the parents wanting them to do well. They're not intrinsically motivated. How are you so motivated at a young age? And how was that developed at the school you went to in China?
Sometimes your parents know what's the best for you, and you kind of have to give it a try. Whenever somebody hands to you, give it your best, and then if it's not for you, it's not for you. But you cannot stop in the middle when you didn't give it a try. And then that's what happened. When we went to the circus school, we said, let's give it a try. We did our best, and we ended up loving it because we become best. I wouldn't know if we told them, no, we want to go back.
Well, you have an open mind. Because I can imagine many people would say, no, take me home.
So, also, you learn to appreciate things. We were really appreciating for Chinese giving us this chance.
Yeah, you were grateful.
Yes. So we were like, okay, we don't want to disappoint them because they're giving us this opportunity. Let's make something out of it, you know? Good. Yeah, so we did. We learn and we become good. So it's just, in life, hard work has to be involved. Even when like I said, when I was, 12 and all that, doing gymnastics, when everybody go home, I'll practice by myself. And that gave me all these wins. Imagine how my life transit. It was not because I was just sitting. I worked so hard, won so many competition. Even after I stopped, still paid off.
Yeah, I think that's so important to acknowledge.
Yes.
Because you can do what's asked of you, or you can do more, and that's the difference between an average person or someone that succeeds in life. I mean, look at how far you've come. You've had the opportunity of a lifetime. You've traveled all over the world. Let's talk about some of the jobs that you've had. Okay, so since then, you know, you've had all this incredible training. How did that translate into working, and what have you been able to do and see with that trade?
We had, when I was in China, they had all the African Union meeting in China for some reason. So I performed all the presidents.
Wow.
It was nice.
So you got to perform in front of all the Chinese presidents?
The Chinese, and they were Africans. I think they were a meeting about, you know, Chinese and African becoming a friendship.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember my president, he was walking by and we were like freaked out. We were,
yeah. Wow.
So I did that show, and around at the end of my contract, 2 years about to end, we met this guy on Facebook. I don't even remember how we met him. He ended up wanting us to perform in Germany.
Wow.
For winter, he had this African show called Mother Africa. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, you watch the movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
You see the dancers on the wedding, you know, the feathers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, my show looked like that. And
Really?
we have those dancers with the drum players. It was beautiful. My costume was beautiful.
Nice.
I get to be a part of that. And we performed for 6 months.
In Germany?
Yes.
Was it a traveling show? Was it one place?
No. It was every day, like a bus tour show.
Do you feel like a rock star?
Not yet there. So we performed there, and then we moved to, while I was there, another African show, but this is huge, called Africa. It was, this one we do a tent, and it stays in one city for 1 month.
And where was this?
The city or the year?
Was it in Germany?
Yes,
Okay.
still in
Still
Germany.
in Germany.
Yeah, so, but this show went on for 2 years after that, and we stayed in Cologne, Frankfurt,
Wow.
all like more than 6 German city, and I went to Graz, Vienna, and we went to Switzerland. If you see cities around us, we performed there, and this show was huge.
Wow.
That's when
Then you felt like a rock star.
Yes. And I was the closing act, and we were 3 of us, 3 for Juggler, 3 tables at the same time.
Yeah,
that's beautiful, and yeah, that was good. And after that, I performed for the Formula One Dubai, you know, the car race. I have done so many shows in Turkey, all the 5-star shows.
Do you have an agent? They book you? Do you have a certain rate, and then you go out? How did that work at the time?
We don't have. I'm like free. I don't have one agent.
That's
Anybody
probably good
can
though, right?
Yes.
Because you don't want someone taking your money nor having too much control over your career.
So they find you a job and you give them 10%, and you get paid the rest of it. And also people contact you to perform. I work for Sir Dream. Sir Dream is a part of Cirque du Soleil, and I performed with them for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Different holiday shows on. I did a variety shows, and I also performed on a cruise ship for the past 3 years.
Wow. So the cruise ship was the last job you had, and probably the longest job.
Yes,
for
the
3
longest.
years.
Yeah, they never had a food juggler because, you know, when you are on a ship, the sea rocks.
Oh my goodness. Juggling tables on the ocean.
Yes, and my boss thought it was a good idea, but it was funny. Okay, they gave me the contract.
I mean, at first, it doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yes, they gave me the contract, and this is like good money, good condition. I was like freaking out. Oh my God, this is really good. So I went there, and my boss was like, because he knows me from doing corporate show for him and all that. And he was like, you can't handle it. I was like, yes. No, not.
Yeah.
And he was like, you can't cut some of the trick out. I was like, why? I don't want to cut it. Like me, he wanted to give me an easy way out, but I was like, no. It's like, for me, as a performer, I have to hit the best. Like I don't take out my best trick because it is my best trick. It doesn't matter, small audience, big audience. I don't do those. Audience are for me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I give it all, smiles, hair, makeup, everything. So he was like, cut it out. I was like, no, I don't want to. So we went to the ship. We did almost 389 shows in 6 months. And I barely canceled 10 shows. I was performing when the ship was rocking like this.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were tired, but like,
were there times you must have been scared?
Yes. Like, there were times I can't even feel that table. That's how, like when elevator takes you down faster? Yeah, you have that feeling.
It's kind of like weightless, like you're waiting for the table to go. Oh my goodness.
I have no control of it.
And when you watch Helen's videos, you're going to know what she's talking about. I can't believe it. And you know what? You told me you performed on a cruise ship, but I just didn't put two and two together thinking that you were doing that on the water where the boat...
Yes.
If you've been on a cruise ship, I've only been on one. But like when the boat starts to move, the pools on the deck, the water goes out.
Yeah.
And so you're...
Yeah. I have done. I don't know why. Yeah. Every time I survive, I will say I will never do it next time. But then the show they come, Helen, are you in? I'll be like, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, yeah. And the company loved me. So after that, they hire me again and again. This is the thing. When people give you a job offer, you have to give them your best so that they fell in love with you and they keep hiring. For me, there's no small job.
Yeah.
Even if it's free, you don't know who's watching you. It's the same. Everything is opportunity for me. Everything I do is opportunity to have, more things.
It's important for the kids. Your students will probably listen to this. We'll send them a link. For kids to know that whatever they do, you need to try your hardest.
I tell my kids whenever they are on the beam, they're performing. They have to carry themselves good. And walk and repetition is the key. You have to repeat, and pain is fine.
Yeah.
Pain gives you talent, the skills.
How do you learn how to love pain? Because you have to learn to love it.
The outcome. You think about the outcome. The first time you do it, you'd be like, no, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
And then when you repeat it more and more, it hurts. But then one day you see you are all the way down the split.
Yeah.
And the outcome is good. The outcome is it gives you forget about the pain.
Yeah. Sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
Nothing's better than that.
Nothing's better than that. No. I remember that.
All right. I wanted to talk to you about performing because, well, first of all, having a stage presence, being confident on stage. I can't even imagine because you've been in arenas where like there's a whole stadium of people watching you do like a show, maybe like at the hockey.
Yes.
At the NFL. What is that like? Do you get nervous anymore? How do you prepare for that?
Oh, you feel small.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place is huge, and I did last year my first NBA show, and this is how I got. It was weird. Every time the confidence is different. So I was practicing, and the professional basketball players they stopped and they were watching me, and it felt so good that they are actually these people have seen so many things. They have.
And they're professional athletes too, so they can appreciate.
And then they were like, pointing at each other on the video, and I was like, imagine when the audience seeing this.
Yeah.
So what I do with my confidence is I always practice a lot, as much as I can, sometimes more, and then whenever it's stage time, I tell myself I have done my part, and the rest goes to the universe.
Because you've done everything you can.
Yes, there's no there is whatever happened on the stage. It's just nobody's perfect. Things happen. So the more you do it, the easiest it gets. That's why when it was back in the days when I do gymnastics, everybody go home. I practice by myself. That's me putting that extra to take away my nervous when I'm on competition.
So when you went there, you felt much more confident because you were prepared.
Yeah, I felt like I have done my part.
And even if you make a mistake, you fell off the beam, you still did everything you could.
Yes, that knowing that you put the work, I think that gives you, your nerve comes down, not all the way, but still, it helps a lot.
Well, you know, being on the balance beam or being on the competitive floor, especially for new athletes, it's the first time competing. I'll deal with, you know, kids are really nervous. So we kind of talk them through it and tell them to just go back in their mind to the training.
Yeah.
Muscle memory is a big part of it. But this is also a parallel with life. Are you doing something for the first time? Being in gymnastics is being on stage. You have to learn how to be on stage.
I dropped my table a lot.
Did you?
The first job I got in Gyminny with the mother athlete I told you, it used to fall a lot.
Did it fall on you?
Yeah.
Or close? That must have hurt.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I was in China, they train you, they tell you self-protection. So whenever my table comes to my face,
you know
my
what to
hands,
do.
actively is like muscle, like I just like push it away from me or something. So I have done balance beam, and it's just the more you practice it, you remember the part where I say that you have to do one trick 20? Yeah, that. Imagine if you can do one trick on the balance feet 20 times without falling. You can do one time. One time is easy.
Yeah, I like that. What brings you to Gyminny Kids?
Ooh. Gyminny Kids. So I did my last job last year. Before last year, I think. The year is going so fast. So I had my baby and Rodney. Hi, Rodney. If you're watching this, I missed you. He been trying to get me to his circus. You know. Yeah, he always say, you're too young, keep performing.
Yeah.
So when he found out that I had a baby, her name is Amari. She's 15 months.
So
yes,
cute.
She's walking now. She's amazing. And he contacted me and he was like, oh, I'm going somewhere in December. Can you cover for me? I was like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, you know, ground act, his area.
Yeah.
I barely do push-ups. I'm working on my push-ups.
She's gonna do 20 and then 20 sets of them.
So he contacted me. He was like, can you do it? I was like, okay, I'm in San Diego. So that's when you got my resume.
Yeah.
And in my resume, of course, I have gymnastic all over it because I have done, I think I did gymnastic longer than circus.
Yeah.
Because I started very young. When you offered me the job, I wasn't sure that, because being a gymnast, being a coach is completely different.
It is. I think that's important to note too.
And my job, circus jobs are a very freedom job. I do my show, you pay me, there's no contact to us. I don't have to, you know, there's no that smiling at you every time I see you. And I wasn't being around a lot of people. It's a different environment. Yeah. So when you offer me the job, can I do it? Can kids love me? Can kids understand me? Because I'm very sarcastic, like really, and I do it with serious face too. Like I don't laugh. I have told my kids I'll keep you here all day. Yeah. And they looked at me like I'm serious. I'm gonna keep you all day.
Your students respond really well to you, and I've seen a lot of progress in the classes that you have in a short period of time.
Oh my God, I don't know how. I don't know why they love me.
I think because you're genuine, and even if you are hard on them, kids like that. They like it when, and I wouldn't even say you're hard. You're just fair but firm, but also, you know, you have a funny sense of humor. Yeah. If at first, you know, I didn't understand your humor, but I think you're hilarious.
Yeah, I start like coming down on new students. And then new students sometimes cry in my class because the other student, they act like they know everything. Okay, it was super cricket, and I have like this, they're like really good. And they know how to follow. I will just spot in one place and I just look at them, they do it again. And if I say I do it again, and this girl came in and everybody's like, can I show her? Can I show her? And she started crying. And I was like, everybody stop showing her. I'll teach you how to do it. Because she was like, I don't know how to do it. Because they all know how to do it. They want to show off. So yeah, my students like to show off.
How does it feel to be full circle? So now, you were the student for most of your life, and now you're the teacher, and you get to share your gift with others. What does that feel like?
It feels good. It feels good to give back, and also I think I am a little bit hard on them because growing up I didn't have this. I want to teach them you can do more with what you have.
Yeah.
This is what you have is.
They don't even realize what they have.
Yes, that's the thing, and I want to make them realize it's like they need to appreciate this everything they have. It's hard. It's hard to make them understand. I will keep trying, but the environment they have around them, everybody had this.
Yeah.
There's no one. And I came from where I will kill to have this when I was a gymnast.
Yeah.
So like them having this, I want them, this is good. You gotta, some of them I don't even think they like gymnastics, but it's like your family thinks this is the best for you, give it a try. Yeah. That's all. Just give it a try and give it your best. Yeah. If you didn't like it,
even if you don't,
then it's fine.
That's exactly what you did with circus. You didn't necessarily like it. You didn't even want to be there. You didn't know you were there for circus, and then you turned it into something that's a passion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a life lesson we're trying to teach our kids constantly. Yeah. We want them to at least try it, and while you're trying it, have a good attitude, or at least a decent attitude while we give this a shot. But especially at Gyminny kids here, I think the families in this area recognize that gymnastics is a foundational sport. And that's part of the reason you're so good at circus, because you had gymnastics before. Like you said, the other kids that didn't have gymnastics, they struggled to keep up with you.
Yeah.
Whether they want to do baseball, softball, swimming, it doesn't matter, because start with gymnastics.
It's just, okay, this is very weird. But this is, like, sometimes I feel like I'm everyone, but I'm not. But I don't realize it until I tell people, this is easy. How come you can do this? Like a coordination of jumping rope. Yeah. I can do one leg, and you can throw me in anything. I catch up quick. And that is because when you do gymnastics, it's not only your body does it. It's a whole thing. It's a combination. Your body does multi things. This thing happened one time. I never understand gymnastics, but I know I have to work. I fall and work. Mm-hmm. So I was training to do a backhand spring full twist. And I got it the first time, but it wasn't in my head. And I was so happy. I did it so many times. Mm-hmm. The next day I come in, I couldn't. Mm-hmm. I got so pissed. Oh my God, I remember so mad. Yeah. And I was keep practicing. Every time I tried to do full twist, I end up in half. It would be half and stop. Oh my God. You cannot believe how mad I was. And my coach was like, stop doing it. Mm-hmm. He was like, stop, go home. He said, that's how mad I was. I couldn't let it go. And I went home. And then 2 days, I took a break 2 days and I come back. Breathe in, all that. Mm-hmm. And backhand spring full twist was a big deal. And I was the first woman to do it back home. Wow. Yes, it was the first woman and I was so, like, I wanted to be always the best, like I said. So I came in and I tried one, it didn't come. And I just stopped and I just start memorizing and how my body should be. Mm-hmm. I said, I finished the round of, I do the backhand spring. While I go up, it's just like I did it in my head and I did it again. But when it come back, that was it. It never left. That's one thing I want to tell kids, because I have seen kids do pullover and they were so happy. They go home, the next day they come in, they can't do it. And I always tell them when it comes back the second time, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be body and mind together. Yeah. So that's really important. I want kids to know gymnastics. You get frustrated, it's okay. Yeah. That happens in circus too.
That's powerful though, because you can get it and then nothing's more frustrating than losing it. Yes. When you think you have it. Yes. But that's part of the process too. Yeah. I think that's part of, like, you need to be humbled. Yeah. Before you get, too much too fast. The other thing, using proper progressions. You just can't just learn something the next day, try the next thing. But no, that's really cool. And Helen's talking about doing a full twist. And mind you, she probably learned that without all the tools we have, like tumble tracks, trampolines, foam pits.
I never seen foam pit.
So you learned that on the ground. It's just incredible. Okay, now she started with gymnastics. Now, before we went on live today, we were talking about how she just decided to learn how to juggle 5 basketballs. She'll put 2 on her feet and juggle 3 with her hands. So these are the things now. You can get as creative as you want now with your foundation. Yeah. Right? You can just, what do? You just watch something on the video and then you said, okay, I'll try it. Oh my gosh.
Foot juggling table was a Chinese thing. They gave me the idea, but I wanted to do something mine. Yeah. But this is not also mine. I have a foot juggling idol. She is amazing.
Who is it?
Her name is Serena, and she does the 5 basketball trick. She is crazy good.
Wow.
And I always wanted to do it, but I never had time. The traveling, performing, you need a set schedule to do it every day. Plus, I cannot travel with, I have my table, my orange and all that, plus the 5 basketball, and you have to be on the ground, it's like situation. But now since I'm at home and it's nothing, not a lot of things we can do. Yeah. So I start, and it's been 3 weeks. I'm actually really good. I cannot switch them up, but I can balance 2 basketball and 3 on my hand, and I can play 4.
When you get that down, will you please take a video and post it? On Helen the Foot Juggler?
Yeah, I have one video, the quick video, but I'm still working on posting it. And I didn't even think that I made a progress, and because I practice it every day, and I got frustrated yesterday again. Yeah. And
sometimes taking a break and then coming back helps.
Yes,
right?
And then I sat down today on a drive here. I was talking to my boyfriend, and I told him, it's like, how long I've been practicing? He goes, 2 weeks. I was like, oh my God, I have done a lot.
In 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks,
yes.
Oh my
goodness, wow.
So imagine if I keep doing it, and I do an hour and a half.
So the kids that are at home right now, they can look at this as the gift of time. They have time. What should they be doing at home to build their foundation?
Oh my God, a lot. First of all, I want to say you can do anything.
Anything.
You just have to repeat it 1,000 times. Okay. The first time you do it, you feel like you have no hand, grip on it, but then you keep repeating it, you see little change. Yeah. You looking for those little change, and be patient. You can work on your handstand. You just need a wall. You can work on your forward roll. You can work on your push-ups, because you use them to do back roll, handstand. It's just so many things you can do. Jump ropes are fun. There is nowadays so many challenges.
And you can go online, like you said, and find the different workouts that other people are posting. Yeah,
you can do those. Just like I do an hour and a half a day, and I'm seeing so much change. That's all it takes you. You can do 30 minutes a day. Don't put time to it. Just wake up but you have to do it. It's like when my practice, I don't wake up and I'll do it at 11. No, I'll just go for a walk and work out a little bit. But I know that a certain time of a day, I have to put that. That's discipline. Discipline is good. You have to always have something, and you have to keep doing it. Yeah. It's like you can't just start and drop it.
Yeah. I think that's hard for adults, because when you're a kid, you have people telling you what to do. When you have a coach, you have someone. When I was working out after I stopped doing gymnastics, it was really hard for me to be self-motivated, because for a while I was tired of working out and doing gymnastics in general. So it's kind of like going into adulthood, or even for those kids that are going into teenage years, they have to learn how to self-discipline.
Yeah, it is. And find outdoor stuff. I grew up playing on the street a lot. There's so many games that help. I was very active. I was very healthy. That's good. I bounce back all the time. I can fall in and still be fine. And it helps me now. You have to always do this, things. Like when I was pregnant, I work out so much because I want to have a healthy baby. Everything
was for a purpose.
Yeah. Yes, you need to have a purpose.
And a goal.
Yes.
All right. Well, Helen, thank you so much for coming on. I think it's already been an hour. That's how fast this conversation went. Yeah, but I know that the people who are watching took a lot from what you said, because I sure didn't. I don't even know half your stories still. I bet you guys are telling more than you can tell us.
A lot.
So I'm on with Helen. This is Gymnastics is More Than. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.